Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this special press briefing by Secretary East Shri P. Kumran on the ongoing state visit of the President of South Korea. For this briefing, assisting him, we have our Ambassador to India, our Ambassador to South Korea, Shri Gaurangalal Das, as also our Joint Secretary East Asia, Shri Sujit Ghosh. With that, I invite Secretary East to make his initial remarks. Sir.
Good afternoon, dear friends from the media. At the invitation of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, His Excellency President Lee Jae-myung of the Republic of Korea is on a state visit to India. The visit started last evening and will conclude tomorrow. This is his first visit to India and comes within a year of his assuming the presidency of the Republic of Korea in June last year. President Lee is accompanied by First Lady Kim Hyek-kyung, along with a high-level ministerial and official delegation, as well as a high-level business delegation. This was the third meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Lee Jae-myung. They had earlier met twice on the sidelines of international events: the G7 summit in Canada in June 2025 and the G20 summit in South Africa in November last year. President Lee's visit started last evening, and soon after his arrival, EAM called on the president. This morning, he was given a ceremonial welcome in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Subsequently, President Lee paid his respects at the Rajghat. Prime Minister Modi and President Lee held wide-ranging and substantive discussions at Hyderabad House today, both in restricted and delegation-level formats. They laid out an ambitious agenda for future engagement between the two countries. The meeting provided both the leaders an opportunity to review progress across key pillars of our special strategic partnership. Both sides have decided to enhance economic cooperation, and the new areas of cooperation include shipbuilding, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, critical minerals, supply chain resilience, and diversification. The two sides also decided to further strengthen people-to-people ties. There was an alignment of views on several regional and global issues of interest to both sides, particularly in the Indo-Pacific. Prime Minister Modi and President Lee held extensive interactions with business leaders and CEOs of both sides over a working lunch this afternoon. Later, President Lee is slated to participate in the India ROK Business Forum at Bharat Mandapam, where he will interact with 300 business leaders from both sides. Apart from these, our teams organized several events on the sidelines, including the inaugural India ROK Financial Cooperation Forum in Delhi and the India ROK Space Day in Bengaluru today. Insofar as deliverables are concerned, several G2G and B2B MOUs were agreed upon and signed in areas pertaining to the economy, trade, steel, shipping and maritime cooperation, environment, science and technology, climate change, financial cooperation, education, culture and creative industries, among others. We have issued 4 joint statements. The India ROK Joint Strategic Vision. This is comprehensive in scope and forward-looking in terms of ambition, charting the roadmap for the overall bilateral relationship, as well as outlining our joint positions on various regional and global issues of mutual concern. Shipbuilding cooperation is a key pillar of our bilateral partnership. We have adopted a comprehensive framework for partnership in shipbuilding, shipping and maritime logistics, encompassing the agreed initiatives as well as the ambition of both sides in the shipbuilding sector. We also have a joint statement on cooperation and sustainability, outlining our common approach on climate change, maritime and Arctic related issues. We have a joint statement on energy resource security to advance our energy resource trade and investment cooperation through established frameworks and to work together to strengthen energy resource supply chain resilience. Both leaders reached important agreements and consensus today to strengthen the political foundation of our ties. It was agreed to hold summit meetings and ministerial exchanges with greater regularity. We launched an India ROK Industrial Cooperation Committee in which our two ministers responsible for industries would explore cooperation in a number of priority industries, including semiconductors, critical and emerging technologies, clean energy, industrial partnerships, among others. We also announced the launch of a distinguished visitors program to invite Korean lawmakers and eminent personalities for familiarization with the new India. ROK has also initiated a similar program on their side for young diplomats and government officials. We are happy to share that ROK has decided to join the Indo Pacific Oceans Initiative IPOI, which is expected to add more substance to our maritime cooperation. We have also launched a bilateral economic security dialogue to be led by deputy NSAs on the two sides. This will help our countries to achieve trade diversification, technology collaboration, and resilience in vital supply chains. In order to achieve mutually beneficial trade and achieve the ambition of a $50 billion trade target by 2030, we have adopted a joint declaration on resuming negotiations to upgrade the CEPA between the two countries. Both sides are targeting early conclusion of these negotiations and for them to address the issue of trade imbalance, among other things. On financial cooperation, we are happy to announce the interlinking of our digital payment systems. It was also agreed to enhance cooperation between our SMEs, which serve as the backbone of our supply chains and innovation on both sides. We also agreed to launch a India ROK digital bridge to focus on AI, semiconductors, and other emerging technologies. We also signed an MOU under Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. On sustainability, we're launching a dialogue on important themes such as climate, Arctic, and maritime cooperation. Korea announced its decision to join the International Solar Alliance, and we have conveyed India's decision to join the Global Green Growth Institute headquartered in Korea. People to people ties and mutual admiration for each other's culture are at the heart of the people to people connections between the two countries. We are extending our cultural exchange program until 2030, and 2028-29 will be commemorated as the year of India ROK friendship by organizing a range of activities. In this connection, we also signed an MOU in cultural and creative industries to bring synergy to the growing global popularity of our creative content industries. Overall, President Lee's maiden visit has infused new energy and momentum to our special strategic partnership. All the MOUs concluded today reflect the scope and scale of our new ambition. I will stop here and I'm happy to take questions. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll begin with Keshav there.
Thank you, spokesperson. Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. I have two questions. One is regarding this joint statement on maritime shipbuilding, this comprehensive framework for it. Could you give us a sense of what was discussed? What are sort of the outcomes that you're looking at from this? And the second question is on the CEPA negotiations, because there have been, I think, 11 rounds of review so far. And now I think there's been movement to conclude this in a early manner. So could you give us whether there was a timeline that the two leaders have decided by which the review negotiation should be concluded, and what really are the main issues there? Thank you.
Huma?
So I'm Huma Siddiqui from Stat News Global. I have two questions. What does India want to get out of the upgrade of the CEPA? And my second question is was the balance of trade and taking care of non-tariff barriers by Korea discussed between the two sides?
Siddhant?
Hi, sir. Siddhant from Beyond. How much there was discussion on the Hormuz situation by both the leaders, and also we saw the South Korean president uh, extending his thanks to India over the peace in the Korean Peninsula. So, what kind of conversation on North Korea's missile the program, and of course that becomes a big worry for South Koreans.
Yeshi?
This is Yeshi Seli from Business India. You spoke about, there was talk about energy partnership. Korea is already helping in the energy transition for India. Was the talk today taking that further, or there were other tie-ups in this sector that were talked about? And also, the trade is expected to be around 50 billion, right, by 2030. So what are the factors which are going to contribute to arriving at this figure?
You have a question there? Yeah.
Hello, sir. This is Vishu from ANI. I want to ask about SEPA. What all issues will be addressed in this, including trade imbalance? Besides that, what all issues will be addressed? And in addition to that, my second question would be about what was discussed about defense cooperation. Can you give us details about that?
So, yes.
Thank you. Let me start with the shipbuilding MOU. There are a number of areas that we discussed uh, at the level of the leaders. Broadly, there is an acknowledgement that both countries are rich in terms of maritime tradition, share a number of common interests and complementary strengths. Korea has technology, it has globally acknowledged strengths in the area of shipbuilding, and we offer scale and are very eager to cooperate with them to expand our own ability to produce various kinds of vessels, including next generation vessels and green vessels. Some of our ambition is reflected in the Maritime Amritkal 2047 vision, and that summarizes the opportunities available for long-term collaboration with various partners, including with the ROK. Uh, and today's agreement is in the nature of a non-binding, today's agreement is in the nature of a comprehensive framework that I've mentioned earlier in my remarks. Several initiatives have been taken as a part of this uh, at the level of industries too. One includes a non-binding MOU between the Korean shipbuilder HD Korea Shipbuilding and Offshore, HDKSOE, the identified cluster developer and facilitator. The capital provider is Maritime Development Fund for joint development, financing, implementation, and operation of a large greenfield shipyard in southern India. We will be putting out further details in the coming days. Overall, the emphasis is on upgrading existing shipyards, including developing block fabrication facilities and setting up a new dry dock to construct large and specialized vessels. In addition to setting up infrastructure and facilities, we are also looking at financing and skill training. Uh, KOICA, Korea International Cooperation Agency, will be partnering with the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways to help with the skill training program, especially in the area of shipbuilding. There will be also cooperation in developing port infrastructure, knowledge sharing, training our workers, and financing will be another area where the Maritime Development Fund and the Korean side's development partnership funds would be used for advancing this program. We are also looking at jointly designing, manufacturing, and supporting next generation conventional and autonomous maritime and port cranes. So there is a whole range of areas that are covered by this MOU. Let me move on to SEPA upgradation. As you know, the dialogue has been going on for several years. There have been 11 rounds of discussions that have been held. And there are a number of areas. Some of you mentioned some of the obvious areas. One is the trade imbalance. The CEPA, as you know, came into force in 2010. At that time, the bilateral trade was in the range of 14 billion. Today, it is close to 27 billion, but it is uh, quite unbalanced in the sense that our exports are in the range of about 6.5 billion, while Korea's is about 18.5 billion. So there is a need to rebalance the CEPA, try and find ways to increase our exports to match that of Korean exports. Non-tariff barriers are also a subject, as you would expect in all FTA negotiations. Uh, because it is CEPA, we are also looking at enhancing investment, finding ways to facilitate investment, and also enhance services exports from India, an area of particular strength for us. So all these would be covered. I mean, there is nothing new there in terms of what we will be discussing. It will cover the entire range of trade, investment, and services. Uh, You'd asked about, I think Siddhant had asked about the Hormuz situation. Yes, there was a general discussion in the sense of the upheaval caused by geopolitical contestations, conflicts, both in Ukraine, Russia, and in the Gulf region. Uh, Overall, it was agreed that we should cooperate to try and strengthen peace and security and strengthen multilateral institutions. Uh, it was seen that India, as the leader of the global south, would be a useful partner for Korea to interact with and to develop positions that broadly represent global opinion. And in that context, uh, as you would see from the joint statement, the President of Korea appreciated our support for denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. There was also a brief discussion about non-proliferation and cooperating in the area of making sure that proliferation, sensitive technologies do not fall in the hands of uh, non-state actors and other kinds of sanctioned entities. Energy transition, I think let me talk about the trade target of 50 billion first. Uh, we've seen that in the first wave of Korean investments coming into India, mostly large companies like Samsung, Hyundai, etc., have invested in India. That has, uh, in some ways, driven trade in the first phase. The second phase of investments and collaboration that we are looking at will be focused on SMEs, small and medium enterprises. We are hoping that if more SMEs come into India from Korea, in fact, the president particularly referred to the fact that he's surprised that there are only about 700 Korean companies in India, and that he would like to see a much bigger number, perhaps 10 times that number. And therefore, a number of issues that they would like resolved in terms of facilitation of investment by SMEs, the kind of expectations that SMEs have when they invest outside Korea. Those were all areas that were discussed. And it was felt that the CEPA upgradation and the second wave of investments from Korea involving MSMEs would drive the trade growth and help us reach the target of 50 billion in the coming years. Energy transition has a few areas of interest for us. Uh, there were two, three particular areas of interest that were discussed. Nuclear energy was one. Korea has very good technology for nuclear power plants. Uh, SMRs are an area of interest for both sides, and there was broad agreement that we should cooperate in developing small modular reactors. There was also a discussion on developing battery technologies together, trying and benefiting from each other's knowledge and experience in this area, and to work on developing next generation batteries uh, with or without critical minerals. and also for working on battery storage technology so that grid stability can be achieved using renewable technologies. Defense cooperation is another important area, as you had mentioned. There are a number of areas where we already collaborate in. Korea supplies K9 Vajra systems, the anti-aircraft systems. There is already 2 phases of supplies that have happened. We're looking at the 3rd phase, which involves a greater technology transfer. We are also looking at other kinds of anti-aircraft guns and missile systems. We are also looking at co-development and technology transfer, co-design, etc., of new generation defense systems. We are also looking at collaborating in terms of procurement of more kinds of defense hardware, telecom equipment, cyber security, and yeah, I think that's all. Oh yes, this is what I was looking for. We are also looking at developing a Korea-India Defense Accelerator, KIND-X, to try and support defense startups on the basis of the roadmap 2020 that we have agreed upon already a few years ago. This will help us support defense industries, startups, and research institutions to develop new kinds of defense technologies. So broadly, these are the areas that we discussed. Thank you.
More questions? Neeraj?
सर आज हमने नीरज न्यूज 18 इंडिया से आज हमने देखा कि हैदराबाद हाउस में प्रधानमंत्री और राष्ट्रपति ने वृक्षारोपण भी किया। क्या सिंबॉलिक मैसेज देने की कोशिश की गई है इससे? और एक दूसरा सवाल यह है कि सीपा के तहत आपने बताया कि भारत का फोकस है कि एक्सपोर्ट को बढ़ाया जाए कोरिया में, तो किन किन क्षेत्रों में हम लोग फोकस कर रहे हैं ताकि ट्रेड इम्बैलेंस जो है वो बैलेंस की दिशा में जाए?
सर दिस है ब्रह्म प्रकाश दुबे फ्रॉम जी न्यूज़। सर मेरा सवाल है कि जो स्ट्रेटजिक भागीदारी की बात कही है दोनों नेताओं ने, तो क्या इसमें डिफेंस को लेकर भी कुछ भागीदारी है, कुछ बातचीत हुई है? और दूसरा जो इंडो पैसिफिक का जिक्र भी प्रेस स्टेटमेंट में किया है कि सेफ इंडो पैसिफिक को लेकर, तो उसको लेकर किस तरह से दोनों देश काम करेंगे, कुछ डिटेल आप दे सकें? थैंक यू।
अखिलेश?
सर मैं अखिलेश सुमन हूँ डीडी न्यूज़ से। पश्चिम एशिया की स्थिति पर क्या दोनों नेताओं के बीच में कोई बातचीत हुई, क्योंकि इससे सप्लाई चेन बुरी तरह प्रभावित हुआ है। ब्लॉकेड, काउंटर ब्लॉकेड, बातचीत विफल हो गई अमेरिका और ईरान के बीच में, तो क्या किस तरीके से दोनों नेताओं के बीच में इस पे बात हुई, कोई ज्वाइंट स्ट्रेटजी इसके बारे में?
So we can take these questions.
Okay, आपने ट्री प्लांटिंग के बारे में पूछा। ट्री प्लांटिंग जैसे कि आपने बताया एक सिंबॉलिक इनिशिएटिव था। जो ट्री चूज किया गया था इस इनिशिएटिव के लिए वो सीता अशोक ट्री का एक सैम्पलिंग था। और हमने पहले भी कराया है विजिटिंग लीडर्स से सैपलिंग प्लांटिंग का अपॉर्चुनिटी। और हमें हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये है कि ये सैपलिंग को शिफ्ट किया जाएगा बाद में क्वीन ह्यो मेमोरियल पार्क अयोध्या में, जो कि प्रिंसेस सूर्य रत्ना जो इंडिया से कोरिया गई थी और एक कोरियन प्रिंस सूरो से उन्होंने शादी किया था, और काफ़ी कोरियंस अपने आप को क्वीन सूर्य रत्ना के डिसेंडेंट्स मानते हैं, स्पेशली जिमहाई प्रोविंस में। तो उनकी जो जर्नी थी उसको रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए वो सैपलिंग को वहाँ प्लांट किया जाएगा, और एक तरह से पीपल टू पीपल लिंक्स और एंसेस्ट्रल लिंक्स को एम्फसाइज करने के लिए इनिशिएटिव प्लान किया गया है। एक्सपोर्ट फोकस मैंने काफ़ी डिटेल में आपको मेरे फर्स्ट सेक्शन ऑफ द आंसर्स में बताया था. काफ़ी डीप एनालिसिस चलेगी और जो इंडस्ट्रियल कोऑपरेशन कमेटी फॉर्म की आज अनाउंस की गई है और जिसकी मीटिंग्स होंगे आगे से. What will happen is trade and investment will be discussed in detail on that. SEPA upgradation ka, there is a separate negotiating channel for that. But in addition to trade and investment, there will be discussions on uh, all kinds of aspects related to that, plus also energy, uh, technology, etc., uh, and green energy. So there are a lot of areas that are related to that. Uh, I think we will try and figure out which areas will be particularly targeted for enhancing our exports as we proceed into those discussions. Strategic partnership, आपने broadly पूछा था कि strategic partnership को एक्सपैंड करने के लिए किस किस एरिया में, वो तो पूरा का पूरा जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट इज अबाउट दैट. So I'm not sure there is much to expand on that. The whole of the joint statement will be the answer to your question. On Gulf crisis, there was no specific discussion uh, on the solution to the problem. We were mostly focused on discussing with each other, understanding the implications of the crisis in the Gulf, how to deal with implications for us in terms of food security, energy security, disruptions in the chemicals market, fuels market, and also fertilizer market, and how to introduce resilience in terms of supplies for us. So that was broadly the focus of the discussions. And and to collaborate with like-minded countries and as close a way as possible to coordinate positions, etc., in multilateral fora. Gaurang, you want to add something on the trade bit?
So I think broadly the issues have been covered. On trade, there was an acknowledgement that it needs to be made more balanced, and it also has to have a wider scope than simply tariff negotiations, because a lot of the new trade agreements that have been concluded recently by India and also with many other countries that Korea is pursuing are involved with many non-tariff related issues. Today, for instance, digital trade is very much a significant component of trade that countries are doing. You look at the supply chain resilience, that figures very much as a part of trade agenda. So there are new issues which are coming up, and it is necessary for India, Korea to keep that changing global perspective in mind when we look at trade negotiations. So I think that has been the approach basically agreed on by the two sides, that this is the way forward to go. And then, of course, you might have already heard the two leaders speak about a more ambitious timeline for when we want to conclude the negotiations. The expectation is that within a year or so, we should be able to wrap up the negotiations. So I think it's a more ambitious kind of SEPA. So let's not just look at the simple tariff negotiations. It's about a broader partnership that will involve trade and also non-tariff related trade matters. So that's the aspect about the trade.
Thank you, Gaurang. In fact, one of the points that came up for discussion is that what is going to be different this time, since we've already gone through 11 rounds. And EAM, when he called on President Lee, explained to him that the mood in India is different right now. Between 2010 and now, especially in the last 2-3 years, we've concluded several FTAs, and therefore the ability of India to conclude FTAs now is much, much higher today than, for example, 3 years ago. And therefore, our ambitions will be suitably reflective of that, as the ambassador mentioned. So that will be very, very clearly reflected in the way we go ahead with the CEPA 2.0, as some have referred to. And the Industrial Cooperation Committee will discuss a number of areas in addition to CEPA upgradation, as I mentioned, trade, investment, industrial cooperation, especially in sensitive new age industries, energy, critical minerals, etc. So there is a lot of areas where we'll be discussing. We also are looking to enhance our steel exports and steel cooperation by sharing Korean technology, especially in the area of sustainable or green steel. Uh, we are having a steel dialogue to take this forward, and perhaps a steel forum between industries on the two sides. The Korean industry, POSCO, is going to invest in a large steel making facility in India. There is also talk about finding ways to collaborate more in electronics, semiconductors, displays, etc. The list is fairly long. I mean, we are looking at every area possible to try and enhance partnerships and, if possible, enhance exports.
Just to add few things, नीरज, जो आपने कहा कि ये वृक्षारोपण जो हुआ, ये सीता अशोक पेड़ है, और आपको मैं बता दूं कि ये उत्तर प्रदेश का राज्य वृक्ष है सीता अशोक. इसको यहाँ पर से अयोध्या ले जाया जाएगा. बाकी the joint statement will be put up on our website soon. As also, please do refer to the 15 outcomes that have been or will be posted on our X handles, as also the website. That will give you, the length and breadth of this state visit in terms of all that we've been able to achieve. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
One more point,
Sir.
Randeep. Sorry, I just wanted to highlight one more point. There was a fairly vibrant discussion on cooperation in the area of creative industries, with particular reference to gaming. PM had mentioned that both sides are very strong on cultural output, and India is the treasure house of ancient and new age stories on which games can be developed, and we can collaborate in the area of developing games, benefit from Korean technology and special effect capabilities. He said there is a strong cultural underpinning to this desire to develop gaming industries on both sides, and that it is not just a casual gaming, casual game playing kind of initiative or a time pass initiative, and that there is this very strong cultural element to this. PM also invited South Korea to participate in the next edition of the Waves event to try and develop greater partnership between businesses on both sides.
Thank you, sir. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.
I just wanted to add that I seem to have missed that. PM President Lee invited PM to visit Korea at an early opportunity. I seem to have missed out on that, and he said perhaps that can serve as the opportunity to put a final stamp of conclusion on the upgraded CEPA and to sign it during his visit to Korea.
Thank you.